My name is Josh Nelson. This is my new record, The Sky Remains. It's going to be out on Origin Records. I'm really, really excited about it. This album was sparked by just my love for Los Angeles in general, but also listening to the podcast of Robert Peterson, his Hidden History of LA podcast. This is the first time in the Discovery Project kind of series that I put together for the last 6 years now that we decided to have a narrator, so you could have some reference point as you listened to the music and watch the visuals.
About 450 historic staircases, built mostly in the 1920s, wind through LA's steep hillside neighborhoods.
I've always been obsessed with LA history, and part of it comes from the fact that all four of my grandparents moved to LA in the 30s. Growing up, I've always been inundated with, oh, this used to be like this, oh, remember this. And some of the stories, it seems unreal.
I got the idea from his episode about Griffith Park and the story behind Griffith and his interesting relationship with his wife. And I said, God, that's a really kind of morbid story. I think I can get a tune out of that. So I called Kathleen Grace.
Look over there, watch the water. It's a river I played in as a girl.
One afternoon in the middle of an LA summer, Josh brought up the story of Griffith Park and sort of the insanity of that remarkable tale that so few people know about.
What is remembered? How do we forget? Men change history in the smoke of a cigarette.
That's something I really love about Josh. He loves to get obsessed about things, you know, and in the most heartfelt, joyful way, and it makes the around him also want to get obsessed about those things.
But the sky remains the same.
She's a huge part of this album. My favorite songs on the record are things we co-wrote together.
I am the angel.
There's so much there, you know, all within the evocative context of LA, which is where we live. The city changes so much, and it's been bulldozed and replaced and, you know, built over in like the most tragic and beautiful way, but like this thing always stays there. This huge sky always remains.
Well, I guess I first got involved just through playing this beautiful music at the Blue Whale. Josh and I must have been playing together now for 15 years or so. You know, he's just been a part of my life here living in Los Angeles.
He's fantastic to work with, not only musically, but just in the studio. He's amazing. Someone who really feels music and art in general with their gut. Josh
Asked me to come in as a co-producer with him, which I was just all in because the compositions and the sense of storytelling and narrative is something that I'm also really compelled by.
There's an insert in the CD that when you're hearing the song, you can kind of get some of that same historical context that you get at the show.
The idea of adding a kind of a topic or a subject that the music can address, even if it's obliquely, it just takes different sort of small narratives and shines a little light on them. But they don't really have to be like super literal. They can kind of touch on the subject, and then for a listener, their imagination can kind of wander and go.
I love story records. I love where you can like sense the beginning, middle, and end, and there's chapters, and you know, each song leads from one to another as if you're reading a good book. The visual aspect of it is so important to me. They're originally conceived with the visuals. Every subject that we look at is slightly different and requires Travis to dig into his archives.
And I would say all of the people involved, like jazz as their roots or jazz as sort of the center of their heart in some ways, but a lot of other kinds of musical forms. I mean, that's definitely true for me, and I know true for Josh.
It's a mix of a lot of influences. It's jazz, there's some singer-songwriter stuff, there's some more orchestrated stuff, there's some freer stuff. It kind of goes all over the place. I'm about just making good music, and I kind of don't care if it fits into the jazz category at a CD shop. Do those still exist? And yeah, it jumps around a bit, but I kind of like that. LA's eccentric. It's just part of the fabric of the city, you know? People come here to find themselves, get lost, realize their dreams, have their dreams broken and shattered. There's a mystery to Los Angeles that I really like, and that comes to me from this desert community being on the edge of an ocean.
It's phenomenal music performed by wonderful musicians. I mean, these guys are great. It's incredibly fun to watch.